Monitor-Invest-Hold-Dispose video on our channel FPL Nerds. My name is MJ.
My name is Timo, and today we're gonna go through our selection of players that we chose for you for the four categories on the screen. So let me explain them quickly. So monitor are just potential assets for the future. No rush to buy them right now, but just to keep an eye on them. Invest are players that are value players. They are performing very well right now, and it could be a good investment for your FPL team. And hold our player that could have bad fixtures or not performing very well at the moment, but we think that could be a good hold. And finally, dispose are just players that not performing very well and also have bad fixtures, so it's better to get rid of them right away. So let's start and see what are the players that we have for you this week.
Okay, so the first player on the monitor list is Alexander Isak. And so far, we don't have too much data on him. Obviously, he only played one match. However, he does look to be a player that Newcastle will be counting on him a lot in the attacking area. They paid 70 million, I guess, on him on his transfer, and he's actually pretty good. It's not every day you get to see a 6'2" striker. I think he's 6'2" with the agility and dribbling capabilities that he have. He's quite fast. He can go behind the defense. He's pretty much the full package. Okay, maybe he's not that strong on his feet. However, considering the rest of the Newcastle team and the way that they are improving, he looks like he can be a very good player in the future. I'm not really sure if this is going to happen straight away, despite the fact that he just scored against Liverpool and he also had a disallowed goal. However, he's definitely on my monitor list, to put it that way.
Yeah, well, I only played one match, so as you said, we don't have a lot of data. But from the only match he played and he starts, he looks good. He scored one, as you said. Another beautiful goal actually was disallowed. He really dribbled the two players and put them on the ground, actually, of Liverpool, and then had a very good finish. So I think he looks sharp, and as long as Callum Wilson is injured, I think Isak will be the guy starting all the time until Wilson is fit again, and then maybe he could be rotated a bit, or maybe they change the formation completely and play with two at the front. As we said, also the rest of Newcastle team helps because Almiron likes to run and dribble and stuff, and then he can pass the ball to Isak in the box and he can get something from it. So he could be a good option, considering also that the next four fixtures for Newcastle, as we can see on the screen, are good on paper. So overall, I think Isak could be a good monitor, but he's just a monitor for now until we see what happens. Also in the
Yeah.
in the league that he played before in the past season, he had like over 32 appearances. I think I only got like 6 goals and 2 assists. So it's not a great
Yeah,
number,
that's good.
yeah, not a promising number, but maybe he could be a good fit in Newcastle and do better in the Premier League. We never know. So let's see what happens.
I honestly truly think so. Let's not forget he's only 22 years old and there's still lots of place for improvement. And since you mentioned the Wilson, I really don't think, or I don't want to make any assumptions. However, do you really think that Newcastle just paid 70 million for him to bench him?
I didn't
It's
say.
not like they have so many other stars. Not really. Newcastle is not a team filled with stars. It's a team filled with hard workers, I would say. And the new transfers that they bring in, they always tend to be to the better. They don't usually make transfers for the bench, at least not yet. So I think he's part of the manager's plans to be in the first 11 throughout most of the season.
Yeah, yeah. Well, look, he will be playing more often than not, for sure. And Colin Wilson, we already know he's injury prone, so he will probably also miss some matches. So I think that's why actually he's on the monitor category, because we still don't know a lot about him. We still have a lot of question marks. So
Yeah.
we need to see him for a couple of couple of other 2 matches or something, and then decide if we want to bring him in. The also good point about Isaac is his price point. He's at 7 million. So you can, if you get him for any reason, and then you think that he's not performing well, you can always go to a Tony, to a Mitrovic, and a few other options in that bracket. So it's
Exactly.
also
Exactly.
also flexible, to go from one to another.
Hmm. Yeah. True. True.
All right, so let's see who's the second one on the monitor list. All right, guys, so the second one on our monitor category is Johnson from Nottingham Forest. And actually, Johnson played the first 5 matches, almost all of them, 90 minutes, apart from the last match, which was against Man City when they were losing a lot. So the coach, I think, had to make some changes to put some defender in to avoid any further damage. So he's a 90-minute man. He scored already 1 goal against Everton. They kept 1 clean sheet out of the 5. So considering the opponents that they had, I think they did all right. And now since the tables are turning and you can see that the fixtures are turning good for them, they could prove that they could be a good team. I think they were playing some good football as far as I saw. And Johnson is the main man in the front. So if goals are be coming from Nottingham Forest, probably it's gonna be from him. He's only like a 5.9 million, so it could be a cheap third option in the front if you want to play 3 in the front. Stats are not great because as we said, Nottingham Forest didn't have a lot of chance to
Yeah.
advance
Exactly.
advance much in the first 5. But now I think they will have more chances and they could show us some form. But that's why it's on the monitor, and that we still need a couple of more matches to see against lower opponents to decide whether should get him in or not.
Yeah, I really think we can actually see a new Nottingham Forest starting the Bournemouth fixture. I mean, they did invest a huge amount of money in this year's transfers, and yeah, they might be the new QPR by investing a lot and then relegating. But to be honest, looking at the players that they have signed, I think they just need a little bit more time to play together in order to properly shape up. And so far, it's been really difficult with the kind of opponents they had. They played the Spurs, they played the City. So yeah, and yeah. Now looking at Johnson himself, you can't really say that he's a player that excels in a certain part. Okay, however, he's a very well-rounded player.
Yeah.
Okay, he also on the heat map, you can see that on the right-hand side, he takes the ball a little bit deeper and then he pushes forward. You will find him several times in the box, so he gets in those opportunities. Now, for 5.9 million for a player who plays in a team against easier opponents, okay, it's the Premier League, nothing it's easy, but yet it's easier than the matches they had so far. I think he's a good shout. It's worth monitoring Nottingham Forest in general, and maybe start to consider starting their players a bit more often, according to what we're gonna see in the next couple of matches.
Yeah, yeah. And I think all of us have already Nico Williams in our benches. But if Nottingham start to show some form, maybe also we can consider starting him at some point. But let's not talk more about Williams. This is more for Johnson. Anyway, let's move on to the next one then.
All right, so for this week, we only have Harrison in the invest category. And the reason he's here, actually, there's plenty of reasons. We can start off with the returns that he already had. Within the past 5 matches, he scored 1 goal. He had 3 assists. He had 4 chances created, 20 touches in the box. So for a 6 million midfielder, 6.1, sorry, million midfielder, he really looks amazing in terms of creativity. Now, unfortunately, Rodrigo got an injury and he will be most probably missing for a few game weeks. However, Bamford will be there, and knowing that Harrison is on corners and Bamford is a pretty tall player and he is pretty good with headers, I think they can cover for the loss they had with Rodrigo.
Okay, not only that, but also Harrison is controlling the left side very well, and he always come from the side and passes into the boxes. So that also can help someone like Bamford when he starts playing again. Also, Sinistera looks good in the match he started in the past game week. So he's quite the creative force in the Leeds team, and I think he can bring us, if not goals, at least a few assists in the upcoming game weeks. And considering his price point, also he can be like a good flexible option because you can go to Martinelli, you can go to Grush, you can add a little bit more money and maybe go to Zaha. So there's a lot of option that you can move to if you see like after 3 or 4 game weeks that the Leeds are not performing anymore or something, then you can always make that move. Overall, I think Harrison is the best option as a Rodrigo replacement for the moment, if you don't own Martinelli, of course.
Yeah, definitely. And looking at the fixtures they have Brentford away, Nottingham Forest at home, United away, and then Aston Villa at home. Okay, we're not expecting them Leeds to dominate all of those other teams. However, we can definitely expect them to score a few goals. In the Nottingham match, Nottingham Forest match, we don't really know who's gonna win there, but we can definitely assume that there will be goals on both sides. And yeah, I think overall he's a good investment at the moment. And looking at the fixtures, the form, everything is shouting
It's
out
good.
his name. So yeah, I
Yeah, yeah,
would definitely consider going for Harrison.
yeah. And my eyes are always on Harrison since the beginning of the season because he looked very good. All right.
Yeah.
So let's move on to the next category, which is the hold one.
Okay.
All right, guys. So the next one on the hold category is Ivan Toney. We know that Ivan Toney didn't really score last match, but overall he looked good as he created 2 big chances. He had a couple of shots that we were talking about the last match only. So even if he didn't score, he still looked involved in the match. And considering the fixtures that he's having next, which is Leeds at home, Southampton away, Arsenal is not gonna be is gonna be tricky a bit, and then Bournemouth. I think Brentford have a good chances of scoring a few goals there. Now, as we know, Tony is the main man up front, and he so far he got 2 goals to assist, so it's not too bad for his price point. So I think if you have him in your team, just keep him for at least 2 or even 3 more game weeks and see how it goes. If not, you can. He's a good flexible option that you can move from him to maybe Isaac, to maybe Mitrovic. You have a few good options now starting to appear in the front within that price bracket, right?
Yeah, he actually looks pretty decent. And let's not forget that he's also on penalties.
True.
And you touched a very good point on the other forwards within the same price bracket. Now, as you said, Isaac just joined Newcastle. He could be a really good option, but it still we need to wait at least for 1 game week, maybe maximum 2 game weeks. And also Mitrovic, he has only 2 hard matches left, and then he will start having easier, okay, on paper, easier matches. So I believe if you can still hold on to Tony, and let's not forget that he did deliver 4 times already, 2 goals to assist. So if you can still can hold on to him for 1 or 2 more game weeks, you will definitely have a lot of options to choose from and have that third attacking option to bring actual value to your team.
Yeah, and I'm personally,
So yeah, if you have him, keep him.
yeah, I do agree. And actually, personally, considering the 3 up front now, not right away, but I would say very soon that I will probably move there. So I think, yeah, Tony could be a good option. Mitrovic, as you said, you have Isaac, Colin Wilson, if he's gonna be fit, maybe in a few game weeks. So you have a few options there that could be decent.
So for our second hold, we have none other than Rhys James, and I think he's probably in many in most of the managers' teams. He has a very high ownership already, and why he's on this list? Because I see that there's a lot of managers who are already selling him and already no longer believe in that Chelsea defense, who was pretty shaky to be honest. However, let's not forget that Koulibaly had a red card. Fofana did not start to play yet, so I tend to believe that very soon, once Fofana will join the team and Koulibaly he already started playing again since the last game week. But once they have that back three line, which will be Koulibaly, Fofana, and Thiago Silva, then Rhys James will be able to play in his rightful position, which is the right wing back, and we also how offensive he can be and the number of assists and goals that he can deliver even in the same match. Actually, we've seen that in the previous seasons. Now, to go back to the root of people selling him is because he's actually yellow flagged. Last week he had an orange flag with 50% and he didn't play at all. And if you pay attention, it's actually due to an illness issue, so it's not a muscle issue. So there is a good chance he will be back this coming week, and if he will not start, I think he will at least get some minutes.
I think he will start though, because as we said, like the yellow flag on him is now just due to illness, and usually the illnesses, they always come back the week after. And let's not forget that we don't get James for the clean sheets. To be honest, we get James because
Exactly.
he's one of the top scoring player in the back. Like I consider maybe could be the second after or the third after Cancelo and Trent. He always get us like the assist or the goals. So even if defense of Chelsea is looking shaky, as you said, it will improve with the new players and the new signing they got. That I'm sure of. But he will also get back to the right side, right wing back, and he will start getting us this attack and return more often than not. So I think
Yeah.
James is a hold for now, at least for the next two against West Ham and Fulham. And then if Chelsea is still looking that bad and James is still playing as a RCB, then we could change him for the Liverpool game. But for now,
Exactly.
just keep him.
And actually, look at his expected assist. It's 0.43 per 90. Now, this is considering that he played as a right center back. Okay, now imagine the damage he can do if he
Exactly.
plays the full 90 on the right side.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, yeah, to end up with this, I truly believe if you have him, don't sell him. He will most probably troll you, come back and hurt you by scoring again. It happened to me the previous season, so yeah,
Well, it happened to all of
he's a
us the
definite
previous
ball.
season. All right, so that's concluded for the whole category. Let's jump into the next one, and that's the dispose. All right, guys, so the player we chose for you on the dispose category is Rodrigo. Unfortunately, as we saw in the last match, he got injured. He's out for 3 to 4 weeks minimum. So if you have him, I don't think you should keep him for another 3 or 4 weeks on the bench, considering his price point. Yeah, Rodrigo is a great player and he showed a lot of potential and he was scoring for fun. But for all the managers that actually have him, I don't think you should keep him anymore because, he's out. So out is out.
Yeah, it's pretty useless to keep him. He's definitely not gonna play for the next 4 weeks. And anyway, why would you keep him if within the next 4 weeks you will be most probably using your wild card if you didn't already use it?
True.
Uh, yeah, and the thing is, on his price point, I really do think you can get some different options as well. Whether you go to a gross or a 6.4, 6.5 midfielder, maybe even 7 if you have the additional budget to go to Zaha, or you can actually downgrade him to a 4.5 midfielder and then upgrade Stanfield or Archer, whoever you might have as a 4.5 attacker, and you can get somebody like Mitrovic.
Yeah, that could be
And
a good option.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah,
so I think the options are there, and we can fix this without too much effort.
Yeah, exactly. You can change it in one move and go within the same team to Harrison, for example, or if you don't know Martinelli, you can go there. Or if you have to transfer, you can always, did as we say, downgrade him and then upgrade somewhere else. Indeed.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So that's it for this video. So if you enjoyed, please drop us a like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you can get all the videos. And we'll be seeing you soon. Have a good one.
Cheers.